What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be looking at my new 2008 Honda 400EX, and it's absolutely in a lot better condition than the Quad Runner was. I mean, as you can see, it needs to be cleaned off. I don't know how good this is picking up in camera, but it's got front disc brakes, one for each tire actually, so you know it doesn't pull to one side when you're stopping. You can see how, you know, brand new everything looks. It's never been, you know, rolled or anything, and you can actually see, I think right in here, that's where the tire was sitting. That's where this quad sat for a couple years. Not a couple years, but you know, like maybe like 5 months out of each year it sat. So it needs new tires, as you can see by the rear tires. It needs new tires because they're dry rotted and bald. These are actually the original tires on the quad. And then in the rear, I actually have to tighten up the chain because right now when I was riding it, it got pretty loose. As you can see, that's way too much slack. But it has a new battery last year, and as you can see, it's very clean. And it came with a steel skid plate, which I'm gonna put on eventually. This brake light actually works as a brake light, where the Quad Runner was just a regular solid on light. And then on the rear here, this is a spark arrestor, and when I'm riding around my neighborhood, I'll leave it in. But if I go anywhere, I'm gonna pull it out and replace it with a less restrictive spark arrestor that makes it sound a lot better and a lot cheaper than a whole new exhaust system. Another thing that tells me the quad wasn't ridden much is the plaque in the clutch. Usually clutches that have been used a lot are like really bouncy, but this one is nice and steady. It only moves that much, and it's very little movement. It's a nice smooth clutch. And then you got your neutral and your reverse. And the one thing that a lot of people don't understand about these is how to put it in reverse. And the reverse lever is right here. All you do is you put it into neutral, which is right above first, which is in between first and second. And then while you're holding in the clutch, you hold this knob in and you downshift twice, so you go into first and then reverse. I guess the point of that is so when you're driving, you don't accidentally put it into reverse instead of first gear and seize the motor up. But then you got your lights on and off, your high and low beams, and your starter and your engine kill switch right over here. You got your throttle, your front brake, and your rear brake. But I'm just amazed at how good a condition this ATV is in. It has absolutely no problems, and I really like it much better than the Quad Runner. It just has a lot more power because I was just riding this about 5 minutes ago and it'll wheelie out of nowhere. Just tap the throttle and it'll wheelie. So I guess now we'll go to a startup. So this is what I've done in between the clip you just saw and the startup. Is the first thing I did is I tightened up the chain because the chain was pretty loose. The slack should be 1 3/8, and this was like 2 1/2. And I also mounted the steel skid plate, which I believe I talked about. So now will be for a startup and some driving.